everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a new speed build video. What are we building today? Well, I guess it's not really a question because you probably saw that from the title, but we're building a blue cottage slash craftsman house. I don't know, something in between these two styles. And this is another video where I try to recreate a real life house from a picture that I obviously found online, and I have so much fun with this type of videos, so I thought I would try again, and this time I'm recreating a cottage. Well, actually a craftsman cottage, a blue craftsman cottage, because as you could probably see from the thumbnail, this house is gonna be blue on the outside and on the inside as well. I can anticipate you already. I used a lot of blue on the inside because I felt, let's say, inspired by using the blue swatches, which personally I think they're my favorites, and they're actually the best swatches in the game, I think. Maybe it's a tie between blue and pink. I also really like some of the pink swatches, but if we just consider the base game without any pack, then I think maybe the blue wins. Now that I'm thinking about swatches, I don't know if you noticed, probably you noticed, but they added a lot of new swatches in the game with the various updates that we've had so far. So now we get more neutrals swatches on some base game items, and I'm really happy about that because some of the stuff really has very bold colors and they're very hard to match with other things. I don't know, like the book, you know, the little book from base game, that one is one thing that comes up in my mind, which has a lot of, like, let's say, colorful swatches, and they added a few more pastel ones, so I'm really happy. And let me tell you that it's been a real nightmare recording this voiceover because I spent the entire yesterday morning trying to record this voiceover, and then first my mom calls me in the middle of the recording, then my guinea pigs start squeaking a lot, and then my neighbors are doing some work on their house, so there was a lot of drilling and I didn't want that noise in my voiceover. Then my PC was lagging so much when I was trying to open the speed build video, you know, to have it in front of me while I was recording because I need that. And then I realized the app needed some update, so I had to do the update and it was already too late that I had to go to work. So I ended up recording the voiceover yesterday evening, but then I was too tired, so it's the next day and I'm recording now, and I hope this is gonna be the right one. Anyway, I don't want to bother you with my recording issues. Let's talk about the exterior of the house, which I think is gonna be probably more interesting. I'm very sorry that this is the second house that I build in a row which has a fake garage. I don't know why I have to be sorry, but I know. I feel like I have to be sorry for some reason. But the picture that I was looking at as a reference had a garage, and I love the idea too much. So who am I to say no to a fake garage in the game? I feel like I did that a lot. Anyway, this time we don't have a functional door, but I made a custom-made door as I sometimes do using windows and columns. Basically what you want to do is to place the columns on each side of the window that you chose, and then just choose a wallpaper which reminds you of a garage door. Normally I'd go with the paneled wallpaper from base game to sort of recreate that idea of a garage door to get the texture right, and this time I used this wallpaper from Snow Escape, which I think I never used before. But to be fair, I think this one serves the purpose pretty well. I like the result, and also the windows and columns are from the Snow Escape pack, and to me they really look like windows from a garage door. I don't know why I didn't use them before for my other garages, but I'm actually happy that we have a garage in this house because I could use it as a extra bedroom, because in this house we don't have many bedrooms. Actually, we just have one primary bedroom. And the actual floor plan for this cottage is a little bit weird, I have to say, but I'm gonna explain the floor plan later on. In terms of doors and windows, I went for the Seasons windows, even though in the beginning I chose the cats and dogs ones. But I felt like the Seasons windows were giving more that craftsman look to the house that I was trying to achieve. Both of them, although are so pretty, they're my favorite windows in the game. Also because they come in different sizes, and it's nice because when you build, you want to have a mix of different window sizes to make the house a little bit more realistic. Instead, the front door is from Cats and Dogs, and I don't think I've ever used that door, or at least I never used it as a front door because I always go for the two tile large doors. But I think this one looks pretty good. I like the more cottagey and rustic look that it has, and I also like how the brown swatch looks with the rest of the color scheme, which is blue with some red accents from the bricks. The wallpaper that I used on the outside is base game, by the way. Then we have one dorm which stretches to the back of the house, and you might think, well, you said that there's just one, actually two bedrooms with a garage in this house, but there's a second floor, so why not having another bedroom on the second floor? And I have to tell you that I wanted to pretend that we have a second floor. But we don't have actually a second floor, even though we have that dorm, because it's a fake one. It's not actually fake. It might be functional because I put a staircase on the inside in case you want to download this house and you want to furnish the second floor. But I left it unfurnished because the roof covers the view, so it would be kind of annoying to furnish. But as I said, if you want to download this house, you have the option to furnish it or not and to turn it into a bedroom or I don't know, something else. So, you have the option to use it or not, depending if you need extra room or not. And speaking of roof, this house was so hard to roof. You might not seem because I cut a part out, but I struggled a lot with the roofing part, and I still can't tell if it looks good or not, especially on one side where we have like another roof piece that I had to add to make it work. I don't know if it looks weird or not. I don't know if you could see it, but anyway, it doesn't matter because it's just one side of the house, and what matters the most is the front of it. Then in the back I put this other roof piece to create a little patio, and as you can see, the patio slash back porch is not on foundation, whilst the front porch is on foundation, not on foundation, sorry, on a platform. But basically the entire house is not on foundation or on a platform, because otherwise you cannot have a garage if you put the house on foundations. I mean, it's not that you can't have a garage, because anyway, you can't have real garages in The Sims, but the fake garage would look very weird when the house is on foundation. So if you want to build a house which as a garage, you have to compromise and not have foundations. Or if you want like a beautiful front porch that is more elevated, like the one I built with stairs and everything, you have to use platforms. And yes, platforms are a little bit annoying to use, I know, but as I said, you have to compromise. And to be honest, you can make it work with just platforms. It takes a little bit of extra time and patience. And what I do on the inside, if I put a platform on the outside, is to create a sort of elevated entryway, because as I said, I want to have the entire house on a platform. And then I put a staircase so it doesn't look too weird. Otherwise, you have the front door there floating, and I don't think it's even functional. It works for me, to be fair. It's a fair compromise, and I don't mind having the entry on a platform. I think it looks actually kind of cool. You'll see it later. It also depends though on the layout of the house. Sometimes you might have the staircase in the entry, and that complicates things a little bit. But for this house, it worked out pretty well, so I'm pretty happy with how it looks. Anyway, back to the backyard of the house, I kept it pretty simple, as it would be a real backyard for a house like this. I love the little corner on the side of the house that is closed off by the fence, where we have some gardening stuff like the flower arranging table and some planter boxes and a hose. As I said, this backyard feels very realistic. We have the monkey bar for the kids, and I decided to draw some terrain there to make it seem like as if the ground had worn away with time, because maybe the kids have been playing in that area a lot and the ground had worn away. I think it's a cute touch. And some other planter boxes, because when I don't know how to fill in the space, I use those bigger planter boxes from Base Game and put a couple of them in the backyard. As I mentioned before, we have the patio where I put, as always, a table with some chairs and a grill. And I use that table from Base Game, which I completely forgot it existed. It has like nice bright swatches, very colorful swatches, and I really wanted to use it, so I just went for it. I think it's really, really cute. And honestly, when I make a speed build video, I always try to use different items and things and not go with the same stuff that I always use, even if it might look good. I always try to think, okay, what did I use in my other videos? So in this way, I avoid to use the same things over and over again, because otherwise it would be too easy, right? And I like a little challenge sometimes. It wouldn't be fun to go always for the same safe items. We can call them like that, you know, the safe items that always look good. It's nice sometimes to pick up an item, maybe a little controversial one, and try to make it work in a build. And sometimes you find stuff that you completely forgot its existence, and you're like, oh, do you know what? This thing is actually kind of nice. But yeah, I always try to bring different things here on my channel, and also in terms of building style, I try to branch out as much as I can and build something different every time. And that's one thing I love so much about this game, that it gives us so many different style options to try out. And speaking of branching out, in the front of the house, I used a debug wall, as you could see before, instead of just using a normal fence. And then I tried to make a custom pillar, so the bottom of the pillar would match the wall, like in the picture that I was looking at. And to make the custom pillar, I used that thing from debug. You know, I tried to use that little pillar that comes from the debug catalog, because I love browsing the debug catalog so much. And there are a lot of things that you can use. Again, it takes time and patience, but in the end you can make things work, especially using move objects as always, and you can create so many custom made things. I don't know why I'm here saying this, like I created something big with debug, because there are so many creators out there who really make something amazing with the debug stuff, but I'm really proud of my little thing. I'm really proud of what I made. Anyway, let's talk about the inside a little bit now. As always, let me talk you through the floor plan first. One thing I want to say about the floor plan is that, and I think I said this before in one of my videos, but it's a little tip which works for me. Basically, when I build in The Sims, and I try to figure out the floor plan first before I roof the house. So when I build the shell, I don't just build a shell and then roof it. I basically do the floor plan first, because I think in this way it works better, because you know where each room is gonna be and you have an idea of how big each room is, and then you can still increase or decrease the size of the shell if you realize you made it too big or too small. Maybe sometimes you want a bigger kitchen. Sometimes I'm like, okay, for this house I really wanted a big island and I made a kitchen too small, so I need more space for the kitchen and I need to change the shell. That to me really helps, because you can still change the shell without changing the roof and everything, you know? Because I feel like that once you had roofed the entire house, you don't want to go back and change the shell, right? At least that is how it works for me. Maybe some people work differently. Everyone has its own method, but yeah, I thought I'd share mine just in case it can help someone. As you walk in, we have a little entryway, and right in front of we have a small closet where you can put your shoes and your coats when you come in, because I had that little room that came out from the staircase. I didn't really know what to do in that. You'll see that I did a small closet, and then on one side we have quite a big kitchen with an island and some stools. Then on the other side there's the living room warmed by a fireplace. I don't know why, but I put a fireplace in almost every living room that I make, as if everyone in their house had a fireplace in real life. But first of all, it's The Sims, and second of all, this time we're building a cottage, so I think it's fair to have a fireplace, because in my mind, a real cottage has a beautiful fireplace, otherwise it's not a cottage. And all the furniture from the kitchen and from the living room is from Parenthood. I really didn't know in the beginning what style I wanted to go for this house on the inside. Then when I chose the counters and the cabinets for the kitchen, I kind of had a more clear vision and I just embrace it. And a clear vision is basically just use the Parenthood furniture. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. I feel like there's a good balance between modern and cottagey vibes. I love the living room so much, especially the color scheme, which I kind of kept it throughout the entire house. Actually, not the entire house, because the bedrooms have a complete different vibe, but at least for what is the common space of the house, living room, dining room, and kitchen. And I remember that Parenthood was one of the first packs that I got. And I remember that in the beginning, I used to always use that couch because honestly, between base game couches and that, I'd always choose the Parenthood one. And I remember always going for that blue swatch. And here I'm using it one more time because why not? But I just really like how it looks also with the wallpaper. And then I also thought to place a couple of puffs next to the coffee table just because I couldn't fit any more chairs, and I think that's a nice little touch. It's something that I've started to do a lot, adding puffs next to the coffee table in the living room, because I always see beautiful living rooms on Pinterest and a lot of them have these features like puffs either like that or in the front of the fireplace, and that kind of inspired me. So from now on you'll see that a lot. Also, now that we have more puff options in the game, I feel like it's perfect. And then we have the master bedroom, which is located next to the living room. We have a tiny hallway with a bookcase because I had to fit a bookcase somewhere in this house, and I thought that hallway was the perfect spot for it. Anyway, the primary bedroom is very different, I feel like, in terms of vibes. So we have different vibes in there. It's not in shades of blue, but as more neutral tones ranging from white to pastel greens, and there is also some light wood touches from the mirror and the dresser. I absolutely love that dresser, especially in that swatch, and the bed and the dresser were the two things which kinda gave me the idea for the color scheme in that room. Then moving on to the dining room of the house, we go back to that blue and yellow and orangey color scheme with more warm tones. I love how that rug looks in there as the perfect colors on it. Then I'm using again the same table that I used on the outside. I didn't know it came with such a nice solid white swatch. I really like it. And the dining room has a little hallway where we can find this sliding glass door which gives access to the backyard of the house, and I turned that hallway into a sort of pet corner because we have some pet bowls, a litter box, and some newspaper pieces beneath the litter box. So I can imagine that they put them there so the floor doesn't get dirty once the cat uses the litter box and they walk out of the litter box with the dirty paws. Then we have that thingy with all the clothes on it where I put some cat's food on it. It's really become a pet corner. Back to the floor plan, we have the garage, which as you can see I turned into a teen's bedroom, and the garage is accessed through a little hallway from the dining room, and on that side of the house we also have a bathroom which ends up being the only common bathroom of the house, if we can call it like that, because the other one is the ensuite bathroom. And as you can see from this video, I left the bathrooms for last because I had no clue how to furnish them. Not really how to furnish them, but my biggest struggle with bathrooms in The Sims is to decide a color scheme in terms of tiles, because I despise almost every tile and swatch for the bathroom, and I want something less, I don't know how to say this, but less vintage looking, more modern. All the tile options to me are very like 50s, and I want more contemporary options. I always spend so much time on bathrooms and I always end up cutting them out of my speed builds because I never like how they look. And this time I cut out just the ensuite, which honestly I don't like how it turned out also because otherwise the video was too long. Anyway, the teens bedroom that I was talking about before, love the color scheme in there, completely different vibes from the rest of the house, but it's a teens bedroom, so I think it's fair. I love the emerald green combined with the fuchsia. I also found that frame set from from the Core to the Max kit, which looks so good in there. The colors of the frames match so well. Everything in this room is from the high school bag. And I know that I said before that I wanted to try different things and different items and not always use the same stuff, but I really can't give up on using the high school years bed. I put them in both bedrooms. They're just so good. I love the swatches so much. And the high school bed just comes with so many good things for bedrooms that I can't just not use them, you know? But at least this time we have a different color scheme. I don't think anyway I've ever used that bed in that swatch. I love the entire concept of this room, by the way. Basically, in my mind, this garage had been refurbished and now is the room of the teen of the house. And it's their little private room, corner, side of the house where they can spend some time with friends, gossiping on that fuchsia couch. I also could have put maybe a guitar, but we have those two shelves that kind of match with the rest of the color scheme in the house, and I never use those. And I just really love how the room looks in general. I tried to make it a bit more cluttered. We have some clutter on the dresser, like makeup stuff and other teenagers stuff. Sometimes when I say in a speed build that I love something I build, I feel like I'm praising myself, but I am not. I'm not a good builder at all. I just do very simple stuff. When I feel like I nailed the color scheme, I just say it because otherwise I don't know what to say in this voiceover. Anyway, we're coming to the end of the video and I'm furnishing one of the bathrooms and I'm keeping the blue vibes in there. But honestly, I saw that tile, never used it before, in that beautiful vibrant blue, and I was like, I have to use it in this house. Then once I figured out the floor and wallpaper, the rest came together pretty easily and quickly. I love how that tub combo with that blue curtain looks with the tile, and I just love the little orange yellow details from the towel and the painting. I hope you guys like the house. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and if you have any suggestions on what I should build next, drop a comment and let me know. I would really like to know what you're interested to see in the next build video. And if you enjoyed watching the video, drop me a like and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!